guys, so we've been on a small break from doing some poly videos while Jamie is recovering from her recent dental surgery. And this last week was Jameson's spring break, so we kind of made it all about him. So this video is going to cover frequently asked questions, and I'm also just going to offer up some advice to you guys. I decided to do this video because I feel like I get the bulk of the questions from you all. And I believe Jamie answered a lot of your questions in her unicorn video. So since the release of mine and Jamie's wedding, I've had a lot of questions asking if Jamie and I are legally married. No, we are not legally married. I legally married Joey in 2004, and there is nowhere in the United States that I am aware of that will let you legally marry more than one person. The second part of that question is, are we all married? No, we're not all married. Jamie and I did have a wedding, and I did propose to Jamie, and Joey and Jameson were in our unity ceremony, and over time, Joey and Jamie have decided to call each other husband and wife because that's just more or less what it feels like at this point. Will we have a wedding in the future with the three of us? Possibly. We don't know what the future holds, but if we do, we will definitely let you guys know. So how long have all three of you been together? Actually, today's March 24th, we don't actually have a set date that is our anniversary. So we just kind of made it a comedic thing. It was like, oh, hey, April 1st, that's our anniversary. So April 1st is coming up, and it will actually be 4 whole years between the three of us. A lot of people out there that are newly getting into a triad or are interested in becoming a triad someday, a big question that we get is, how do you make that new person, the third, feel comfortable? Because you're already in an established relationship, and you guys have already, possibly built a family, you may have children, you may already have a home. Just depending on how long you guys been together, there could be a lot of already structurally formed bodies there. I think that not everyone's intentions are going to be the same. So whenever it happened to us, then we just always wanted everything to be equal. Once Jamie became in a relationship with both of us, we always said that we're equal thirds. So we don't look at it as, oh, well, Joey and Crystal are the hierarchy. We're not any more in this relationship than she is. And I've heard from a lot of other people out there that it's not exactly the same as our relationship is, that that person isn't necessarily an equal. And I think that it's very important that you explain your intentions to begin with, to not leave that person in the dark, because what they're looking for in a relationship may not be the same as what you're looking for in a relationship. And I don't think that you need to waste your time or their time. So definitely be clear on your intentions. Do you guys always make sure that everyone's involved? Of course we do. We always want to make sure that we're always able to go and do things together. Of course, there's going to be times where we can't. Take this last week, for example. I decided to take off some time to go spend with Jameson. If someone else could have taken off and went and done it, they would have went and done it. Okay, so take this for example. There was a concert locally, and Jamie really wanted to go see this band. I couldn't care less about this band. I wouldn't have had fun. I feel like I would have just been a total downer. So her and Joey were going to go because he would enjoy this show just as she would. So it's not that they intentionally left me out. I just decided not to go because I wanted her to have the most fun that she could, and I know with me being there, I wouldn't have fun. I'd probably be on my phone or doing something else. So always try to involve your other partners. There's no reason that you shouldn't. This kind of goes alongside that question. Do you get one-to-one time? We do, but it's not that we set that time together. We always, like I said, try and make sure that we're always included. However, work schedules, family functions. I don't know, it just could differ, honestly, but we don't just say, oh, well, I'm really missing Jamie, so can you give us some time? Or, you know, they wouldn't be like, oh, well, we haven't got to see each other a lot, and we've seen you, so could we just have our time? Like, we don't ever do that. And like I always say, this is our experience. We're not going to have the same lives as all of you guys. A good example of one-to-one time that's not necessarily planned per se, Jamie recently got us tickets to go see Alyssa Edwards because she's coming to Northwest Arkansas, and I am totally in love with Alyssa Edwards. She's amazing. Joey will sit and watch RuPaul's Drag Race with us, but he could care less about actually going and seeing a show. So he's totally fine with us going. And we weren't intentionally leaving him out. It's just it's something the two of us would enjoy doing, and he'd probably rather just be home hanging out with Jameson, or maybe he'll go and grab a drink or something with some of his friends that night. Are there any relationships aside from the triad? I think this has kind of already been answered, but we don't look at it as, well, I'm in a relationship with Joey and I'm in a relationship with Jamie. Like, we're just all in a relationship together. Like, there's nothing more than that. We're all, you know, all three as one. How long was it until Joey and Jamie developed feelings for one another? Well, Jamie and I were officially girlfriends October 13th, 2014. And she moved in the beginning of January 2015. And it was probably around March. That I kind of remember them coming out about it. And that's what I'm saying. There was no set date as far as like a triad anniversary. That's why we just always say April 1st. Were there boundaries in the beginning in your triad? Yes, there was. I think I might have mentioned this in the jealousy video that I previously did. However, I was the one that had the boundaries, and they were really great about, you know, making me feel comfortable with the things that I asked them. And it continued on for some months, definitely, and I'm sure that there were some hiccups along the way and maybe some setbacks, but I think it's okay to have boundaries. I think that you definitely need to communicate all the things that you're comfortable and not comfortable with, because if you want to have a successful relationship, you definitely need to make sure everybody's on the same page. Otherwise, you are really setting yourself up for failure. As far as the jealousy went, though, with the other two, there was nothing that was detrimental. It was just small things. But we've long since moved past all that. I recently had someone ask, how do you and Joey celebrate your anniversary? We would do it like anyone else, but Jamie's there with us. We do everything together. You know, she's happy, like she wishes us happy anniversary, and she's happy that we're having the anniversary, because if we wouldn't have been together and had such a stable relationship to begin with, then there's no way that our relationship now would have been possible. So definitely include your other partner or partners, because you're all an important factor of your relationship, and everyone should be happy for one another and the days that they celebrate. So how do you guys deal with parenting, since there are 3 parents? It is no different than anyone else in a relationship. In the beginning, Jamie felt hesitant on, disciplining our child, but now that she's become more in a mom role and has been in that role, she does everything that we would do. Like, she's definitely one to discipline him or award him or whatever it is that you do as a parent naturally. So now that that portion of the frequently asked questions is done, and however, this could always be a part 1. So if I haven't covered any of the questions that you still have, be sure and shoot me a message and I'll write them all down so that I can get together a part 2 for you guys. But this next section, I want to give you guys some advice. First and foremost, I want you to understand that we have all been in this relationship for almost 4 years, as I've stated before. So the ones that come to me that are new to this relationship, please understand that some of the advice that I may give you may possibly not work in your situation. You could definitely use it on down the road in the future, but at this time, we're way past a lot of the early stages that were really hard. But with that being said, take into consideration that we've made it. Like, it's possible. You definitely just need to work together. So I am going to touch on some of the things that I feel are some of the most important pieces that you need to remember as you go through this journey. As mentioned before, communication is absolutely necessary. You're going to have to talk about some of the hardest things. They may make you cry, they may embarrass you, they may have you questioning yourself. However, if you want it to work, you've got to communicate. You cannot keep secrets from one another. You can't keep anything from one another. And there's going to be times that you're going to tell one of your partners something and you're going to think that you told the other partner something. So definitely be aware of that. In the beginning, we actually had an app that all of us shared. So if I typed something on it, then the other two could go on there and see what was going on. We used that for chores, for grocery lists, everything. Now that things have gotten a lot smoother and we've kind of figured each other out, we haven't used that, even though it'd probably be good to use it still. However, be sure to communicate. I get a lot of messages from you guys, and I don't think you understand the importance of talking to your partner or partners, especially those that are wanting to start a triad. I feel that you're not telling each other everything. So you really need to just figure out a way to have a safe space to talk to one another where you're not going to argue or fight or belittle one another. Just be sure to talk it out and be 100%. Otherwise, it's just not going to go well, guys. Been there, done that, but here I am now. The next part that I want to talk about as far as advice goes is boundaries and being persuaded or talked into something. I feel a lot of people that reach out to me are being pushed or persuaded by their partner to do things that they're not comfortable with. This could be taking down your boundaries. It could be, just something in the beginning and you're not sure where your boundaries are. Once again, go back and communicate, because that is not a healthy way to enter into this. You have got to respect one another. And if you're not able to accept your partner's boundaries, then you need to definitely talk it out and see where you guys can get on the same page. Listen to what your heart and head are telling you, and don't put yourself in a situation where you're going to be unhappy, because this is what it's supposed to be about, is happiness, right? I want to touch on jealousy. I have done a full video on jealousy, so I'm not going to say much here, but if you do want some information regarding jealousy, then definitely go back and watch my video. If I didn't touch on everything that you have questions about or concerns about as far as jealousy goes, let me know. I can also do a part 2 to that. But I just want to again stress to you out there that if you are having feelings of jealousy, don't beat yourself up. It is totally natural. It really is. And just because your partner or possibly both your partners aren't the jealous type, they may not understand you, and then that's where communication is going to come in. been there, done that. Neither one of my partners are jealous in the sense that I was, and it was really hard for me to convey my feelings and concerns and worries and issues to them, but they literally just had to make me sit down and talk it out. And if you do that, things can get so much better. You just have to figure out, like, where can you meet in the middle to make yourself feel better, and to also, you know, not cause any rifts within the relationship itself. So as we come on our 4 years of being together, please understand that you see our relationship now, and it's wonderful and great and grand, but we've definitely had our ups and downs. We've had many downs. We've had times where, you know, this one wanted to leave or that one wanted to leave. Like, we've all been there. I don't want you to think that, oh, well, they're doing great, like, look at these videos, they're so happy, look at their pictures and their posts. I mean, we're not going to post about the bad stuff, even though it's few and far between now. However, we've definitely went through the ringer, guys, and you're possibly going to go through it too. And if it's worth it, you'll all be together in the end, and you'll all be happy, and you'll find your way. So just understand that you're going to have those moments where things aren't going to be good. But guess what? Monogamous relationships aren't perfect either. So you just got to figure out, do you want it or do you not? I want to thank you all for coming and watching this video. Be sure and let me know if there's any other questions, topics, concerns that you have for me, Joey, or Jamie, and we will definitely get them all taken and get a video up. I've promised you guys for the last couple of months that I've been writing down your questions. It just so happens that a lot of you had the same questions, and I'm glad that I had the opportunity to sit down and give you my answers and my experience on them. Be sure and look for lots of upcoming videos, including a new series, Our Poly Journey. We're going to go into depth on where it began with me and Joey to exactly where we are now. So stay tuned. If you haven't subscribed, be sure to do that. Click the bell, and until next time.